Hello everyone. It is your girl Lady Niqua, and it is so good to see you all here. If you are returning, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. And if you are new, a huge welcome to the channel. And for today's video, we're actually going to be talking about college, and I'm going to be sharing my story as a college student and how I was at one point a college dropout and I'm now a community college graduate. And so without further ado, let's get into the video. Alrighty, so my college journey began in the year of 2013. I just graduated high school in June of that year, and I had chosen California State University of San Bernardino as my college of choice, and I began my freshman year of September 2013. My first year went really good. My grades were amazing, and it seemed like I was adjusting to the new lifestyle pretty quickly. So by the end of my freshman year at Cal State, I had ended the year with a 3.4 GPA, and so I was feeling pretty confident about my 4 years there at Cal State. But by the time my second year came, that is when things started to go a little bit different for me. So my second year at Cal State started in 2014, and first semester things were a little bit more challenging, but I was still making the grades that I needed to until second semester. So by second semester, I had gotten my first job. I started having some personal problems, and I started to lose control of that balance between work, school, and home life. My grades began slipping drastically. I stopped turning in assignments. I was failing quizzes. I wasn't studying, and I wasn't even showing up to classes sometimes, or I would leave classes early. And by the end of second semester of my sophomore year, I was on academic probation at risk for academic dismissal. So at the end of my sophomore year, my GPA ended up falling to a 1.9 GPA, which was the lowest I've ever received. But my school was willing to work with me. They decided to give me another shot and would allow me to come back for another semester and see if I could get my grades up. So that would have been my third year at Cal State, but based on credits, it was still considered my sophomore year. So it is year 3 at Cal State San Bernardino, but still sophomore level, and the school granted me one more semester to try to attempt to raise my GPA and get my grades up. I did make some improvements as far as retaking certain classes that I had failed previously and was able to get better grades, but I still struggled with other classes that I needed, and I unfortunately did not make enough to improve my GPA overall. Math was also an issue for me, and considering the major I was at the time, I was a biology major, I had to get past their basic intermediate math class, and I could not. And so because of that, I had to change my major. I couldn't do anything that was science related, so I had to go to arts for a major. Unfortunately, I had no interest in anything considered arts at the time, and so I had to change my entire plan, reroute my entire plan there, and unfortunately, it just wasn't good enough, and I ended up flunking out winter semester of 2016. Needless to say, I was humiliated, embarrassed, ashamed, disappointed, all at the same time, but I knew that it was my fault. You know, I lost that balance, and I didn't seek help. I didn't reach out to counselors or my bosses at my job to try to see if I could find accommodations. I had just given up on myself, you know, and it was crazy because I never thought that it would be my future. I never thought that that would happen to me. I definitely saw myself completing those 4 years at Cal State and graduating and being an official alumni, but life does happen. And so I thought, okay, maybe college isn't for me, and maybe I could try my luck elsewhere. So I decided to start focusing on work more, and I wanted to see how I could advance myself career-wise. So what I ended up doing was I started thinking about ways that I could maybe get myself back into school and how I could, start over and give it another shot. So I started looking at trade schools as a possible option. I did look at attending other universities again, but I decided to go ahead and give trade schools a try. So I ended up enrolling into American Career College in 2017 as a medical billing and coding specialist. So the medical billing and coding program at American Career College was 8 months to complete full-time. So I was enrolled full-time and I was working full-time, and I ended up only completing one semester at American Career College. Once again, my hours were challenging and they didn't work out with both school and my job. And so I ended up dropping out after second semester, even though I did so well my first semester. And I ended up deciding that I was no longer going to think about school, and I was just going to give up the idea completely and keep it out of my head. And I ended up doing so for a couple years. So the year is 2019, and it had been 2.5 years since I completed that one semester at American Career College. By this point in time, I decided that I was going to go back to school. I was going to finish what I started, and there was no excuses, no ifs, ands, or buts this time, that I was going to go get all the degrees that I wanted, and I was going to finish my school journey. So I found a community college that was about 15 minutes away from where I live. I also had a work schedule that would allow me to go to school on my off days. So I applied to the school, met with the counselor, and provided them my old transcripts from Cal State, and I was accepted into the school. That school was Crafton Hills College and San Bernardino Valley College, which are sister schools. I would begin my freshman year at Crafton Hills College in August of 2019. So August 2019 would be my start date for my new school. And by this point in time, I had been working as a security guard for about 2 years. So I've had stable work, and now I was getting a chance to start over in school again. And this time I would have access to the resources needed to help me succeed. And I was going to do it. It was going to be all or nothing. And so my first semester went really well. I ended up liking all of my classes. I had some really amazing professors who were very helpful. And I actually ended up earning my very first 4.0 GPA by the end of my first semester at Crafton Hills College. Crafton Hills College and San Bernardino Valley College were really amazing schools. I was able to take classes at both schools in case one campus didn't offer them, and they worked really well with my schedule. I had Tuesdays and Thursdays off, so I got all my classes for those days, and the balance I had, it just all worked perfectly. Everything was going well, and each semester I was doing really well with my grades, and I really felt like this time I was on my way and that I was gonna make it, and I was gonna finish my school journey here but continue on at other schools and finally accomplish those goals that I had been wanting to accomplish. All right, so we fast forward to today, and as of today, I am a Crafton Hills College graduate. I received 2 degrees, an associate's degree of arts for transfer for sociology, which is what I used to transfer over to a university, and I also earned an associate's degree in social sciences, and I will put a picture right here so y'all can check it out. And I'm really just so proud of myself, and I'm just so happy, and I'm so thankful because I've had a tremendous amount of support from my family and closest friends during this journey. When I started at the school, they originally gave me 4 years. That was the plan, to do my associate's degree in 4 years. But I ended up finishing both of my degrees in a little over a year. I graduated December of 2020. And so it's been really good. The biggest accomplishment I would say for these 2 degrees is taking math 110 and biology 100. Math is a class that I've had issues with since I was in elementary school, and I couldn't pass it at Cal State. And so passing it at Crafton Hills College, especially since it was statistics, and it was a huge challenge, but I had a really amazing professor who really tried to simplify it the best way he could so his students could understand. And my biology teacher was an amazing teacher. I loved the class. I enjoyed the labs. It was really fun, and each class was very educational. You definitely learned something. You learn a lot of information that you'll retain with you. And so I'm definitely super appreciative of my professors at Crafton Hills College, and I'm thankful for all the help that I received in my journey. So what is sociology and social sciences? For one, sociology is a study of society and our development and our structure. What makes us function as a society? What are the systems put in place that help us function as a society? Social sciences is the study of human society and social relationships. In a way, you can see the two go hand in hand. As a sociologist, you could work in the criminal justice field, you could work as a social worker, you can work in education and counseling. In social sciences, you can also work in those same fields, but you can also work as an economist and a political scientist, and again, a lot of the sociology fields too. And I found that both fields tie into what I want to do career-wise overall, and that is why I feel like these two fields were the perfect majors for me to study at Crafton Hills College. So in conclusion, I wanted to make this video to share another one of my stories and my experiences so that people know that, one, they're not alone, and that it's okay. You know, we are gonna fall down, but the important thing is that we get back up. And if there is anything that I learned throughout these last couple years, is that, one, college is not for everybody. Some people do well with college, and some people don't do well with college, and that's okay. You know, all of our paths, our journeys are all different, and you can be successful with college, you can be successful without college. Ultimately, you have to make that decision for yourself, the best decision for you, not for anybody else, but for you. For me personally, I learned that going back to school was the best decision that I could make for me, and I'm glad I did. I definitely am proud to have gotten as far as I did, and I'm no longer ashamed to say that I was a college dropout, because it is hard, but it's not impossible. And if you guys are in school and having these same issues finding that balance, reach out to your counselors. You know, they do want to see you guys succeed. They do want to see you do well. So reach out and let them know what's going on. I know that I definitely couldn't have done it without the help and support of my counselors, who were very encouraging. And so I'm hoping that this video was inspiring. And if you guys were thinking about going back to school or not, definitely take all the time you need, because school is always going to be there. And so take the time you need for yourself to make the best decision for yourself. All right, with that being said, I know that I have talked your guys' ears off enough today, so I will be wrapping up this video. But as always, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I want to thank you guys for your support. And if you guys want to share some of your college stories with me, please, definitely, by all means do. I definitely would love to hear and read about them. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope this video bring a smile to your face, and I hope this video will help somebody out there, and if it can at least help one person, I know I am doing my job. And so without further ado, I'm gonna say goodbye for now, and as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will see you for next week's video. Bye.